Hello traders, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to take you through a few pairs that I've been analyzing and show you some trades that I've been involved in. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the Great British Pound to the US dollar, which is what you can see on my screen right now. So on the top screen what we're looking at is a 4-hour chart, and on the bottom screen we have our daily chart, which is almost like a higher level perspective of what's actually going on in the market. So first things first, let's start off with the bottom screen, which is our higher time frame chart, just to take a little look of what's actually happening recently. What we can see is that price is probably sitting right here down close to this support level. This is the main thing of note. The only other thing that I can see is that long term we've been in a bullish trend. As you can see, we've gone from the bottom left here all the way up to the top, and now recently what we've been doing is we've been putting in these lower lows. You can see that this strong bearish movement there crashed below this low, and so this gives us some bearish sentiment. We pull back, we push down again, and now we're sort of up at this level, retesting these previous highs. Well, we're not really retesting these previous highs, but you can see that we've put in some of these previous highs. To me, this looks like we've got a bit of a double top here. Let's just jump over to the 4-hour, just confirm this. Okay, so I'm drawing my double top from the top point here. You can see it doesn't quite meet. Obviously it's a clear level of resistance here, but it doesn't quite meet for the double top. Then we've got another chance here, still doesn't quite meet for the double top, but we can see that we're sort of in this general area of resistance. Let's just go ahead and clean the chart up. So now we're sort of sitting at this bottom level here. Again, if I just draw in a support level, let's draw it in on the higher time frame chart, and if we go back up to the 4-hour, we can see we're sitting in this little shelf of support. And so we've got quite a nice strong bounce off here. This is what I like to see, because on this level, on this chart, what we can see is we pretty much come off and we bounce off the body of this candle, and it's quite a clean bounce. When we come back, we come to this general area, we bounce off it again, and we've come in here. This is actually going to lead us to one of the patterns which I'm currently involved in at the moment, which is a Gartley pattern, which I'll draw in for you in a second. The last thing to check, just see if we scroll back in history, we can see that this level of support that we've drawn in was previously resistance, and this is a daily time chart on the bottom here. So this shows us this is some quite significant activity here. So this is exactly what we like to see. Okay, so just to revisit the 4-hour time frame, let's just go ahead and jump up so we can now just see this chart. So for a long time, there's been a few different patterns which have been sort of forming. None of them have been valid for quite some time until we have this movement here. What you can see on your screen is a Gartley pattern. Let me just go ahead and draw the legs in. If you're not familiar with the Gartley pattern, then I'm going to go through the legs as I'm drawing them in just to explain. So the first things first, what we have here is we have a X to A impulse leg. So it's quite a strong impulse leg. So we go from this level all the way to this level. Now, if you're unfamiliar, the important thing to know about impulse legs is that we're just looking for swing lows and swing highs, or what's called saw thumb lows and saw thumb highs. They stick out from the rest of it. And then we're just going to draw in our first level of our first retracement. And we're looking for the 61.8%, and we can't touch the 78.6 as per the rules of the Gartley pattern. As soon as we hit the 618, we can draw in our X to A. Then we have our A to B. And if I just go ahead and make it cleaner by removing this, we're going to look to draw in our B to C. We're going to look to draw in our B to C. So we're going to go for a retracement here. We're looking for a 61.8 again, which we hit right upon this level. And we also can't touch the top here. So we're looking for a 61.8% again, which we hit here. And we can't go beyond the 100%, which is right at the top of this level, which will be our A leg. So let's just go ahead and draw in our B to C. So now we can draw in our B to C level, which brings us right up here. And then we're just looking for, at this point in the market, we're looking for the decompletion, which will give us our point to enter. And in order to work out our decompletion, we're going to go ahead and use the Fibonacci extension tool. Draw that in here. And we're looking for this magical 1.272 level. Let's go ahead and draw a horizontal line in. In our aggressive entry, this is our entry point. We enter right ahead at the D leg. You can see it basically comes right up here. What we're looking at here is a pin bar. So the pin bar, and then obviously we're looking at sort of confluence with this support level as well. So we've sort of got the Gartley pattern coming into the support level. The pin bar shows us a lot of rejection on the downside, and basically what happens here is the bulls just take control and push up off this pin bar. So if we just complete the pattern and draw the rest of it in, so we've got X to A to B, B to C, and CD completion, which happens right down here. And now we can just draw the pattern back up, connect the levels, and there we go. That's our Gartley pattern. So what you can see now, if we just pull up the targets, this is a live trade, so it's currently still going ahead. And what we can see is that we've hit the 38.2%. This is our target 1 level. What we can do at this point is push our stop loss up to break even. If you're wondering where the stop loss goes, that's probably around, I think the stop loss I've got for this, just measure this out. Looking at a stop loss about here. So this stop loss now, let's just go ahead and make that red. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and make the entry line purple. And for the first 2 targets, we'll make this one different shades of green. And we'll make this one slightly darker shade of green. So there we go. So what you're looking at here is we have, let's just go ahead and get rid of our Fibonacci to clear some space. What you're looking at is we have the entry, that's our purple line. This is where we entered into the trade. Then we've got our stop loss down here, which is our red line. What you can see is this is quite a clean example of a Gartley pattern because we basically pushed right down into this and then we reversed straight off it. We don't really need to worry about a D leg that's moving down, so that's quite clean there. Then what happens if we hit our target 1 right here? As soon as we hit our target 1, we're going to lock in our profits by moving our stop loss to break even. And now we're in a risk-free trade, which is just waiting to hit our targets 2s. So this is exactly what I've been looking at in the Great British Pound US dollar. If we just go ahead and clean this activity off, let me just go ahead and tell you what I'm looking at for the future. Okay, so the other thing we're looking at in this pair is this. So now we've sort of had this bearish move down here, and then we sort of had quite a sharp pullback. And now we're continuing the bearish move. We've got a pullback here. We're looking at a lower low, lower low. And now we're in the situation where we're going to come back down and test this low here. So this is a low that I'm expecting the market to come down and test. And if it tests this point here, I'll be looking for something like a pin bar, as we can see right here, or I'll be looking for something called a bullish engulfing candle, and that's going to give me an entry signal to buy up into this support level, and that could give us a nice trade setup. So that's what I'm looking at in this pair here, Great British Pound to the US dollar.